So with it being my 4th YouTube anniversary celebration, it is time to now finally dive in and take a look at my luxury designer bag collection. Now with this video, we're going to solely focus on like my top tier designer luxury, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, Gucci, Fendi, Ralph Lauren, Ricky's, you name it, we're going to cover it today. Now, if you're looking for my contemporary designer bag video, I already dropped that a couple of days ago, so I'll have that link down below. Go and check that out once this is done. But today we're going to get this designer bag collection kicked off with everyone's favorite, the one that's on the tip of all of our tongues, Louis Vuitton. Now, I already explained in the contemporary video that like Coach was like where I started, but I aspired to be a Louis Vuitton customer. And at one point I had like 14 or 15 bags in my collection. I've recently dwindled it down to like 5 or 6, but this collection all kicked off with my Taiga Reporter PM. This is done in the Taiga leather, and I have a full set of Taiga luggage that this matches. Absolutely iconic. I even have the SLGs for it all, not to humble brag. This came in clutch when we were in Italy. I carried this all through Rome, Venice, Florence, Pisa, you name it, this bag went with me everywhere. I absolutely love this bag. It's perfect for travel, dual compartments with locks, slip front pocket, comfortable strap. Like, it does not get much better than this. If you're looking for a good travel LV, this is the one to look for. Now, probably my most prized LV bag is going to be the Suhali L'Ingenue GM in the color Noir. Now, the Suhali, as you all know, this came out like early to mid 2000s, all done in goat skin from the West Indies, trimmed in calfskin, tons of ridiculous brass hardware, which kind of calls back to like their trunk aesthetic. This bag, you guys, it was like one of my holy grail wishlist bags for the longest time. I finally bought it a couple of years ago, and once winter comes, I basically live inside this because it is the perfect bag. I love the big chunky handles, the fish mouth opening. It's like a doctor's bag basically. Mary Poppins style. It can literally fit everything you need it to. Definitely gotten my money's worth out of this bag because it is so fabulous. Now, another LV bag that I absolutely had to have when I was younger, listen, elder millennials, we were all there for the original Murakami drop. Just saying. But with this one, I absolutely loved the multicolor collection, and when I could get my hands on the Speedy 30 in the Noir colorway, absolutely had to have it. This thing is absolutely mint condition, perfect vachetta, the metal corners absolutely flawless. It also had the booklet inside for the multicolor collection, and overall, like, this is one of my absolute favorite bags. Does it terrify me to carry out? Yes, I've been collecting Louis Vuitton for about 20 years now, but this one still gives me anxiety. Once I mess up this vachetta, like, there's no running to the store and buying a replacement. The new Murakami drop wasn't as good as this, and I don't even think I could get my hands on one. Also, like, I would have to replace all of this vachetta, and I can only imagine what that would cost at 2025 Louis Vuitton. A lot more than when this bag first came out. Absolutely fabulous, the perfect collector's piece. This is never leaving my closet. Now, also from the multicolor line, I have the matching Marilyn, also in the Noir colorway. I haven't really carried this one out much, as after all, I'm like a 6'7" guy, so this has to be with like the right outfit, right place, right time. I think I've carried it to dinner like once. I carry all of these bags that you're going to see today. It is 2025. Men, carry and wear whatever you want. So what I said, save space. With this one, I'm perfectly content with this just being like a beautiful little piece on the shelf of my closet, because after all, it is fabulous, and I don't know, I love this bag. If you've been around my channel for literally any amount of time, you've probably heard the story of the Monogram Palace clutch. Now, I actually ran through the streets of Munich looking for this bag because I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have that bag. I saw our first night there in town, fell in love, head over heels. I felt guilty for the $900 price point, which 5 years later, you're gonna see is like a drop in the bucket with some of these bags. I hate to say it. I decided to sleep on it. We went to the BMW museum. We went back to the store the next day. It was sold out, but they're like, there's one left here in Germany. It's at the LV across town. They close in 15 minutes. My husband and I literally ran from the Munich flagship all the way to the other LV, which is tucked into a mall. Super sweet essay. They gave us water because listen, running through the streets of Munich at Christmas time, absolutely needed it. And once we got there, like I just knew that this was the right choice. I got the last one in Germany at the holidays, and I am so glad I got this piece. This was such a special bag. This next bag will always have a special place in my collection because I carried this on one of my most special days. When my husband and I got married here at the Chicago courthouse, I carried the Louis Vuitton Etoile clutch. This is from a very short run collection. This clutch was actually only produced for the year 2009. They're very hard to find, especially in decent condition. Etoile basically translates to star, which is kind of like this quilted pattern that you have here on the monogram. Fits absolutely nothing. In fact, you can barely get it open just because the flap is so tight. I don't want to risk hurting it, so I just kind of like slip a card holder in. Again, this was such a special bag for a special day, so I'm totally fine kind of keeping this in my closet, saving it for those special moments in life, because it's already been to my biggest day, my wedding. All right, so that wraps up my LV collection, and guys, there are so many more bags to go. And if you're curious, how many bags does Caleb Snell have in his closet? At the end of this video, I will share my number, my bag number, that is. Don't get carried away. We're gonna kind of rapid fire this because listen, there are over 40 bags on the floor around me, which is absolutely insane. In fact, almost 50 bags. We gotta get through them. Otherwise, this video could be easily over an hour long. You don't want to sit through that. I don't want to film it. So we're gonna rapid fire. Most of these you've already heard the story, seen the reviews, seen the unboxing. But in case you haven't, just go back to my main page, search underneath the different playlists for each brand, and you're gonna see the dedicated videos to each bag. For those of you that are here for the first time, let me introduce myself. Hey guys, my name's Caleb. I post luxury and lifestyle content here on YouTube and over my website, curated by Caleb.com. Over on the website, you're going to find a lifestyle blog with a wealth of recipes, my takes on current luxury fashion, and for those of you that want insider access, like if just hitting that subscribe button isn't enough, which please do so if you haven't already, you can become an insider and join the membership by clicking the join button down below. You're going to have access to more behind the scenes information like secret members' lives. There's a Discord, a members meetup each year where we have a ton of fun. It's an amazing community. It's a safe space for everybody, so consider joining the membership. And let's kick it off this next section with some more fabulous bags. We're going to be looking at my Fendi. I think when it comes to Fendi, this is like a stop at any handbag collector's journey. Like we all stop off at Fendi for an extended period of time. I myself am guilty of that. At one point I had 4 large peekaboos. The .com, I had an amazing Fendi collection. With that being said, I've whittled it back to just 2 Fendi bags in my collection, and this one being the most special. So at first glance, you're like, Caleb, that's just a large Celoria peekaboo in the Romano calfskin with gold hardware. You're not wrong, but for those of you that have never seen this before, allow me to blow your mind. This is the beaded and embroidered large peekaboo. I have never seen another one like this. It is literally covered with millions of beads here on the interior pocket. You have doll 1925 there embroidered on the inside pocket. Absolutely fabulous. So over the top. Literally weighs a ton. I'm about to put this down and I joke about this every single time, but I don't think you guys appreciate how truly heavy this bag is. Not only is it the large peekaboo, which is already very heavy, it's the Romano calfskin, which is very heavy. Throw in at least 16 pounds of beads, my arm is already dying. So let's set this down and take a look at peekaboo number 2. Ooh, that kind of rhymes. So this next peekaboo might even be more rare than the incredibly rare beaded and embroidered fantasy sitting behind me. It's my blue one. Now this blue was actually a made to order. No, I am not the fabulous individual that got to select everything, but I'm so glad the person who had this before me did a great job making selections because guys, this blue Romano calfskin paired with the canvas lining, the gold hardware, it is 100% a vibe. Absolutely love this bag, and this is kind of one of my spring summer go-tos, and I just recently bought the most perfect Fendi wrappy to go on it, and that new Burberry bag charm, the little shearling tail with the gold hardware is going to look amazing on this, so I might have to switch into this for spring. This might be the next bag I use. Let's take a pivot. Let's go back up to France and discuss one of my favorite houses, Celine. Now, when it comes to the house of Celine, there's one particular silhouette that I absolutely love to collect. For those of you that have been around for a minute, you've already guessed the Celine boogie. And although I've sold off a few of my boogies, yes, it's true, it's very sad, but I'm working on curating my closet, creating the very perfect Caleb Snell collection, so I had to let a few go. I will never get rid of the all black version. Now, this is the most classic boogie. I believe Nikki Hilton had this one, Madonna had this one, like literally who didn't have the black boogie. It is iconic, it is classic, it is all the Michael Kors for Celine goodness, wrapped up into one very tidy package. This leather, you guys, like I love collecting bags, but there are just some brands that use some of the best leathers. Celine does not disappoint. This one is absolutely fabulous. Classic Y2K throwback. I love carrying this in the winter with my big trench coat and maybe some platform Converse. It's kind of edgy, a little bit on the wild side, if you will. Love this bag so much so I bought a few more like it, but none as special as this next one. And that would be my studded boogie nights in the blue suede. And this is the exact one that Charlotte carried in Sex and the City. She's wandering around Barney's blindfolded, wondering where she's going in life, as we all are, right? Relatable. Ever since I saw this bag back in like, what was it, 2003, 4? I was like, I have to have that bag, and it became a lifelong obsession. I didn't know Celine well enough to know that it was the studded boogie nights, so eventually once I started collecting boogies, I'm like, wait a minute. That's that bag. I found the most perfect version on eBay. This couldn't have been more than like 150. Cleaned up very nicely with a suede eraser, which I kind of need to do the handles again. Being that it's suede, it's oh so fabulous, so you cannot be afraid of the dirt. You just have to kind of roll with the punches, clean it up as it comes. But this, guys, is such a collector's piece. Is absolutely fabulous. So let's pivot and talk about The Devil Wears Prada. I have 2 of the most iconic movie bags that you have ever seen. Your mind is about to be blown if you're not familiar with my collection. So let's kick this section off with the Marc Jacobs multi-pocket Blake Hobo. No, this is not in the turquoise colorway that was shown when Andy Sachs is handing it to one of her very unkind friends. Like, Andy Sachs, your friend group kinda sucks, not gonna lie, so does your boyfriend. I said what I said, safe space, don't hate me. But the Marc Jacobs was absolutely stunning. One of those bags, like that iconic scene, ooh, gimme, 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 and like you just have to have that bag. So it took me years to literally track down the perfect Marc Jacobs Blake Hobo bag. If you weren't there for my whole Poshmark drama, I'll have that link down below for you in the description, but trust me, finding this bag in this condition was just no easy feat. So eventually I landed on this one. I didn't want to go for that turquoise from the movie just because it's such a specific shade of blue and it's already a bag that's not going to look totally amazing on me. So I wanted to go with something a little bit more neutral. And this is the taupe colorway from the 2007 Autumn Winter collection. And on the interior, I think I went into a little bit more detail when I finally unboxed this bag, but the interior is done in a gorgeous burgundy suede, absolutely luxurious. This was back when Marc Jacobs had the Marc Jacobs line. This would have been just about $1,000. And he also had the Marc by Marc Jacobs line. That's why I didn't include this in the contemporary video, because Marc Jacobs, like the truly made in Italy designer pieces, deserve to be appreciated when it comes to luxury brands. This was back when he was still Louis Vuitton and just peak Marc Jacobs era, if you ask me. And I'm glad I could check this one off my list. My Devil Wears Prada collection does not stop there. No, no, no. I also have the most iconic bag, the Prada Spazzolato frame bag from that iconic collection, you guys. Like, this whole collection of runway bags, chef's kiss, absolute perfection. This one's actually featured at Prada Marfa, which I have a print of in my library, which you can actually see this bag in one of the windows with the cowboys. Overall, absolutely fabulous. To open it, you literally just click the button and it pops open, lined in like a nice kind of like limestone, sandstone colored leather. Very stunning, literally can barely get my hand in there. I have not carried this out yet. I've only had it in my collection for about a year now, but this is such an iconic collector's piece that you don't just carry this to the store. No, this needs to be somewhere fabulous, maybe for dinner. Maybe I can twist my husband's arm into taking us to Maple and Ash for like a fun celebratory dinner. Our anniversary is coming up in August. I have been searching for well over a decade for this bag, at a good price point. There's literally one for sale on First Dibs right now, I think for like $8 grand. I only paid an eighth of that. It was only about $1,000, but still, finding one in good condition at the right price point, the right colorway, the right size, because these came in a few different sizes. No easy feat, but I'm glad that I could finally check this off of my holy grail collection list. And now I get to look at this whenever I want. And you guys, it is iconic. How many times am I going to say that? Take a shot every time I say iconic, you're going to be on the floor. Also in my product collection, I have a couple of bags that are actually for sale on my website, curatedbycaleb.com. Just letting you know that if you like this bag, go check out the website. You're probably going to find it on there, and it's free shipping, by the way. Continental US only, please. With this product collection, I also have just a plain nylon clutch. Again, much like Fendi, we all kind of go through a Prada era. Sadly, now that I've finally checked off my Holy Grail Prada bag, I think I can call my Prada chapter closed. This bag, you guys, I originally bought this for like a rainy day clutch, and technically, yes, it is kind of like a cosmetics pouch for travel, but there's an interior zipper pocket. It's laid out like a bag, so I was like, you know what? Just for like a rainy day grab and go, what's better than nylon? Literally nothing. So here we are. Now, this next bag is also on my website, but for a time, a very brief period in the Caleb Snell bag collection history, the Prada Esplanade held the title for the most expensive bag in my collection. I want to say this was like originally $1,600, which in 2025 sounds like a total drop in the bucket. I hate to say it. $1,600 for a full leather handbag? I mean, hello, be so serious. It has a really fun big gold lock, lined in lambskin, I believe. And I even carried this to Barcelona when we were in Spain a few years ago. Again, I'll have that travel vlog link down below. This bag, you guys, it is the perfect travel companion, much like the LV. This Saffiano leather, it's very durable, lined in this beautiful calfskin. It does lock if you need a little bit of extra protection. There are keys here in the clochette as well. Overall, absolutely fabulous. It's just a shame because literally since Barcelona, I have not touched this bag once, other than to film with it, obviously. And we were in Barcelona back in 2021. I'm doing this bag a major injustice just by hanging on to it, so I'm hoping it can go to a good home. All right, guys, let me know down in the comments of the bags behind me, which is your favorite brand? I think, it's too hard for me to pick, but I think of the ones behind me, I'd have to be between either the Fendi Peekaboo or the Celine Boogie so far. I hope I'm not overwhelming you. I'm just kind of like speed running through this collection video because, like I said, I've got a lot of bags. We could easily be here all day. So let's kick it off with this next part of my collection. Let's discuss some Gucci. Quite possibly the oldest bag in my collection, period, altogether, would have to be this vintage Gucci portfolio clutch. This was actually a gift from my husband way back in the day, probably in 2008, very early on in our relationship. And this was a Valentine's Day gift from him. It's stunning. It's lined in like a pigskin leather, which is kind of disintegrating. So I really do not carry this one at all just because I'm afraid of it falling apart, because where are you going to find a fabulous vintage Gucci clutch like this? Probably be like pulling teeth. I'm just going to hold on to this one. It has a special place in my heart and in my collection. It's a fabulous bag, and like I said, it's pretty special. Also in the realm of Gucci clutches, I have this stunning piece. This is actually a factory exclusive. Now the reason I picked this piece up, even though it was made for outlet, is it's just a beautiful and simple design. This is perfect for like coffee dates, running around in the city. You can just literally tuck it under your arm and go. I think I bought it at the Gucci outlet here in Rosemont for my 30th birthday. Iconic. I wore the big Gucci runway cape to dinner with like a 3-piece suit. It's fabulous. You had to be there. So you have this beautiful black pebbled leather, the burnished bamboo pieces here on the tassels. And when you zip it open, it opens up to the most beautiful, like simple canvas lining. I don't know. It's just really classic. You just have Gucci here stamped in on the front. It's kind of like an IYKYK moment because you can spot it, tell that it's Gucci, but it doesn't scream Gucci, which is kind of the vibe. So I love this piece. Next up from Gucci, I actually picked this up when we were in Barcelona, this bag. So this is just the Gucci Ophidia small camera bag, done in a stunning brown suede with patent brown chocolate trim. Absolutely fabulous. I love how the gold hardware pops on this one, and it's just perfect for weekends in the fall, like running around the city, grabbing coffee, going to museums, staring at ducks on the lake. I don't know what you do in the fall, bobbing for apples. This is your bag. This is perfect for all of the above. Now, probably the most important bag in my Gucci collection would have to be the Lady Lock clutch from the Frida Giannini era. Now, I think everybody sleeps on the Giannini era. It's such a shame because I think that her reign over at Gucci gave us some truly iconic pieces. Yes, it's kind of hard being sandwiched in between Tom Ford's era and Alessandro Michele, but Frida Giannini really made the brand her own. She made it sexy but refined and really brought some of that kind of mystique back to Gucci that was missing. And she did it with pieces like this Lady Lock clutch. Now, this is done, and I think this is in like a water snake or a python. I absolutely love this bag. You just have this little S-lock here on the front that flips open. Overall, just like a stunning piece. Like the amount of attention to detail in this bag is just beyond. I have all of the paperwork for this bag as well. And it also came in a really fabulous crystal version where this is like all crystalled out. Stop sleeping on the Frida Giannini era over at Gucci because I'm going to be collecting more Lady Lock bags. Best believe, because this bag is stunning. It also came in lizard, which was fabulous. There's only a couple of design houses that I only have like one bag from, so we're going to cover both of those really quick. And first up is my Givenchy large Sacca. Now this is done in like a patent leather, black calfskin trim, blackout hardware, and it's one of those bags, I hate to say it, but it's so ugly, it's cute. I absolutely love carrying this bag, especially in the fall, with like a lot of good denim. It's kind of rugged and outdoorsy for a big patent leather hobo. Not words I'd ever thought I'd say out loud, but I just kind of love how edgy it is, and it's kind of one of those like throw and go bags. You can literally fit every single thing you're gonna need in your entire life ever inside of this bag, throw it on your shoulder and run, and it doesn't get too heavy, surprisingly. I can really weigh my bags down. This one, pretty light. I really enjoy having this in my collection. You know, the Sacca was kind of slept on. We were all talking during this era about the Nightingale, the Antigona, the Pandora, which I used to have in my collection. I sold it. Not a very well celebrated bag, but if you can find one, you can get great deals on the Sacca bag, and I couldn't recommend it more. It is the perfect, big, ludicrously capacious tote. It's massive. This next one, I probably, based on price point, should have included it in the contemporary collection. Totally forgot about it. It was hiding behind my Marc Jacobs bag, but I have the little Telfar tote in the small size. No, this is mini. This was actually a gift from my husband. This was during my more loud era. So I was kind of like, you know, just like wearing bright, more fun things. Right now, it's not really fitting the vibe. I kind of wish that I had collected these totes in the more neutral colors. There's some beautiful shades of tan. I will never forget, we were taking the bus through the city recently, and I saw this man. He was in all brown with a brown Telfar tote, and I'm like, that is the vibe. Of course, I bought highlighter green, which is living in its new home, and my husband got me the silver mini. I don't know, it's a fun bag. I think I prefer the medium size more just because it actually fits what you need. These don't quite get in the way, which they do soften up as you carry it. My little Telfar tote. Now, you've made it this far. Stay with me. We're almost to the end. There's only like 5 or 6 brands left. I know, I've got a shopping problem. We're saving the best though for last, Hermes. As kind of a midway treat, let's talk about my most iconically favorite bag. I know I keep saying iconic. Whatever, keep a tally down in the comments for extra credit. But let's talk about one of my absolute favorite bags. The Ralph Lauren Ricky. Be So Serious. Has a better bag ever been produced? Doubt it. I love the Ricky so much. This is the one that kicked it all off, and this is the RL Gold, purple leather lining, absolutely stunning, palladium hardware. Does it get more fabulous than this? Well, it might, because I have a few very gorgeous Rickies, so let's head off to the next one. Also in my collection, I have a stunning 2013 autumn winter runway piece in this black box cap. It's done in a more Cellier style for my Hermes friends. All of this gold hardware. She has the legs. She's stunning. She's fabulous. This whole collection was done kind of like in a military meets like Russian opulence kind of design vibe. I mean, Ralph Lauren nails it each and every single time. And this bag is by far one of my most complimented bags in my collection. Literally every single boutique we went into, compliments. The essays had to stop and run up and talk about it. Louis Vuitton was like trying to clock it. They were very excited about it. And overall, just a stunning bag. And I was so excited I could add this one to my collection. I can't pick a favorite Ricky. Don't make me. Now, this next Ricky, I paid full price for. I did, and I do not regret it one single bit. I know on my channel, in the past, I've always told you, like, unless it's like a super special Ricky, just buy them pre-owned. You can find them out there for amazing deals. But this one, I could not risk missing out, and I actually bought one of the last ones over at Neiman Marcus. The cargo Ricky. I know if you've been on my channel at any point since like last December when pre-spring was announced, you're probably sick of hearing about the cargo Ricky. It's been all over my Instagram, all over my YouTube feed here. But guys, can we just have a moment of appreciation for how fabulous this bag is? This one new, I think was like $3,600. Neiman Marcus was having a really good sale, so I kind of had to snatch it up, and I am just so glad I did. This is one of the pinnacle pieces in my collection. I just love this bag. That brings us to my final Ricky, not the final bag in the collection. Lord knows we have a lot to get through. But for my Ricky collection, this is the last one. This is the Luxe Calfskin in the color burgundy with the gold hardware. As you can see, it is delicious, it is smushy, it is squishy, it is everything a Ricky should be. Ever since I unboxed it here on the channel, I've literally been in this bag ever since then, which is a solid 3 weeks. Believe it or not, I've carried this thing for 3 weeks now. I just do not see myself switching out at any point because it is just one of my favorite bags, hands down. I love this thing. So we've talked about my favorite era over at Gucci, Frida Giannini, but let's discuss my favorite era for Burberry. And although I am loving the Daniel Lee era, I've already purchased some ready-to-wear, some bag charms. I haven't purchased a bag yet. I do see a night bag though in my future, so TBD, to be determined. My favorite era over at Burberry would have to be Christopher Bailey. Christopher Bailey, season after season after season, absolutely nailed what it meant to be luxury. Burberry, like everything good in English, he just rolled into one beautiful package. And I'm lucky to say I have a few Christopher Bailey pieces in my collection. For my Christopher Bailey collection, we're going to start off with the most plain one, the Buckley tote. I have to say Buckley like Luann on King of the Hill. With this bag, this is my rainy day tote. This is my rainy day grab and go. You can literally throw this in the wash and it comes out unscathed. It's fabulous. It's lined in the tartan check. You have just this blackout gunmetal hardware. The cinches on the sides do absolutely nothing, but still they're fabulous. Done in like a nice nylon. The bottom is leather. It is like the perfect drop for me to go on the shoulder, so it should work for just about everybody. I do believe this is for sale over on my website, so go and check it out, curatedbycaleb.com. It's a good everyday like throw and go bag. Like you don't really have to think about it, but at the same time it's still designer and fabulous. The next two bags in my Burberry collection are the complete opposite of throw and go and carefree, and those are going to be my autumn winter 2012 runway clutches. I have talked about this at length on my channel. Quite frankly, one of my absolute favorite shows of all time, and if you argue with me in the comments, you're wrong. I'm so sorry. Other than Autumn Winter 2016 Burberry Poursome, I just can never get enough of Autumn Winter 2012 with the country animals. The materials used in that collection, absolutely luxe. The looks were very town and country, tweeds and beautiful silks and pleating and all things good and fabulous about Burberry Poursome at the time. And I'm lucky to have two of the clutches in my collection. Now, yes, I am always actively looking for more from this collection. If you ever see a piece and you think of me, shoot me a DM over on Instagram. So the one that kicked it off was my Fox clutch, and this is done in a quilted Napa leather. If you go back and watch that unboxing, first of all, it's very old on my channel, at least almost 4 years old. Be kind in the comments, but I went to a whole deep dive. We also pulled up the old 2012 Burberry website to take a little sneak peek look at what was going on with this collection, check out prices, different colorways. This whole fox head here is made from the Lost Wax method. Again, I go into more detail in that original video. I mean, look at that. Is this not like the most Caleb Snell clutch you've ever seen? Black quilted leather with a big fox head in gold. Like, what could go wrong? You can't have the fox clutch in your collection and not have the hound. I have the fox and hound clutches. In this collection, for the clutches, I still need the duck and the owl. So those are a little bit harder to find than like the fox and the hound. And then of course they also came in other colors, so I'm gonna need those as well. The orchard bag, the barrel, the umbrellas, the matching cocktail rings. I have a long way to go when it comes to this collection. These are fun to find, fun to collect, and if you're lucky, you can find them at a really good price point. For Balenciaga, you all know way back in the day, I was a Balenciaga fanatic. I think at my peak, I had well over 20 Balenciaga bags. The Moto City, the newer pieces, I had a big Balenciaga collection. I'm down to 2 bags, both of which are for sale over on my website. Let's kick it off with some Nicola Guesquier goodness and talk about a Moto clutch. So the final Moto clutch in my collection is the Blue Tropical from the Spring-Summer 2012 Runway collection. Was this Runway? I don't think it was Runway. I think it was just the Spring-Summer colorways. But I used to have almost all of the colors from that season. Absolutely stunning. This one is basically in mint condition. You can see the photos over on my website if you're interested, but I'm just ready to part ways with Balenciaga, not because of the whole, scandal a couple of years ago. It's just like, this isn't me anymore. Like, I used to be all about the Moto style and the Balenciaga and like the edginess, and I just don't think I will ever grab for this again. Also from Balenciaga, I still have my Gucci Balenciaga Hacker Project bag. Now, I had to fight so hard to get these pieces. I literally got elbowed in the neck on the street. Long story, we don't have time. I have this one complete set, box, paperwork, you name it, also for sale on the website. Again, like, it's just like I'm not in my Balenciaga era. Gucci really isn't doing it for me lately either, so why do I need the Hacker Project in my closet? Hopefully I'm not talking you out of it because I do want to sell it, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. I'm ready to move on. Oddly enough, all of my YSL bags are for sale. So I recently, in one of my live sales, sold my Muse 2s, which I'm still like, that happened. I never thought I'd sell my Muse 2s, but I did. First up, we have the Uptown pouch. I almost forgot what it was called, in the Spectator's colorway. And I also have it in the size large. This was a department store exclusive. I got mine from Selfridges, I believe. If I'm gonna go out, I have a ton of other clutches I'm gonna grab before I grab these, so they need to go to someone who loves them. And if you're interested in the Uptown pouch, but you think it's too small, I have the large size. It's literally so much bigger than the standard size. I also have the Sade clutch in the black quilted leather. This was back when like big clutches were kind of like major keystone for a lot of the design houses. You had the Bottega Veneta pouch, and I was like, okay, this is going to be YSL's version. Like, this is going to be a hot item, hot ticket. At the time, this was the most expensive bag I bought new in store, almost $2,000. I think you just get used to the price points and you just like fly by them. Like, they don't even phase you anymore. Cause I remember like anything over $1,000, like I would have a heart attack. Now, if I'm just barely spending over 1,000, it's like, okay, that's a good deal. Say what you will about bag prices in 2025. They're absolutely insane, but this is for sale. I don't even think I have this priced at 1,000. You are literally going to save $1,000. And I carried this thrice. Once to lunch in a fabulous Giorgio Armani runway outfit look. You wear it once, you can't wear it again, so it's gotta go. I'm kidding, I'm not like that, you know that, but it is for sale on the website, so go and check it out. Again, full set. Full set. Also in my collection, I have the Rive Droit totes, so I have the VHS Sunrise and Sunset versions. Both of these are for sale on the website. I think I have them for less than what they were retail. I've carried the white one once to, I think, a Shake Shack for lunch. Never carried Sunset, so that one's brand new. No, I also have the Scandal print, which, unless you're going to an art museum or an exhibit, like, where are you carrying lots of naked men to? Like, am I popping into Hermes on Oak Street with this? Probably not. All right, dear viewer, you and I, we've done it. We've made it to the end. It is finally time to take a look at my Hermes collection, and then I'm gonna be sharing my number. if you've made it this far, let me know down in the comments, how many bags do you think I have? And keep in mind, I have a few boat and totes and like 5 Longchamp bags that didn't make the cut for the video, and I'm not counting Louis Vuitton luggage, just handbags. So let me know down in the comments how many bags you think I have, and then I'll share my number after we get through Hermes. Let's do this in chronological order where it all started, the obsession, my Rio clutch. So this was my very first Hermes bag. I thought like I finally made it. I own Hermes, like big shishi, don't talk to me. From humble beginnings, am I right? This I think is from 1994. It's done in the noir box calf leather. It has this gorgeous ebonized wood button with the brass H on the front. It literally fits like your Hermes chapstick, a wish and a dream. It's just a fabulous piece. I carry this one out to dinner periodically when we're going out like more low-key style. Low-key style, what does that even mean? But I do carry this to dinner. It's just a fun little piece to have. You know, when you're starting your Hermes collection and you're thinking about like the price points of like some of the bigger bags, like they are daunting. You're like, oh my gosh, will I ever like reach that rung of the ladder? And it's something I've worked very hard for many years to be able to have what I have. Just having this first piece, which I think might have been like $400, $500 at the time, I just thought like, oh my gosh, what an accomplishment. I finally have an Hermes bag, even though it's a tiny little clutch, a huge monumental piece, and it definitely opened the floodgates for more because ever since then, I've kind of added a new, well, in the last 4 years, I've added a new H bag each year, lots of scarves, twillies, SLGs, you name it. I am like a full H addict at this point. If it's not a Ralph Lauren Ricky, I'm spending that money over at Hermes. I have some fabulous bags to show you guys. So let's start off with the next one. This one, I almost passed out. So my very first Hermes quota bag was actually purchased at the Real Boutique here in Chicago, and I'm like still pinching myself. I remember I was standing there, I was wearing an All Saints sweater in wool, obviously. I had my blue Fendi peekaboo, and I was standing in front of the Tavern on Rush in that little like triangle park, you know what I'm talking about. And I was on the phone texting with Jamie at Lux Petite, Classics with a Quirk, my 2 bag besties. I'm like, guys, what do I do? Like, do I finally buy my dream bag? And obviously, being the bag addicts that we are, my supportive husband, it was a resounding yes. We all voted yes. And I brought home my Hermes Kelly 35. This is in the Togo blue jean with the palladium hardware. Whenever I buy a new Hermes bag, over like $3,000, before I even start to get excited about it, planning the unboxing, or like, you know, like as bag collectors, like we all envision our life with these beautiful things, I send them to Baba Baby. First things first, the minute I get home, Baba Baby. All 25 photos. And as soon as I get Baba Baby's blessing, then I'm just like, okay, sigh of relief. I can get excited now. This was an I've made it bag as a bag collector. Like, I just cannot believe that I'm lucky enough to have this in my collection. A gorgeous, stunning piece of Hermes. One of my favorite bags. Like, my heart still races every time I see it, every time I get to touch it, carry it. I have a few special twillies that are just for this bag. I got so lucky with my first major quota bag. I tried a few more times. So let's move on to the next bag, my Vespa. So then the following year, I brought home my Hermes Vespa. This I think is in the PM size. Don't quote me. Don't quote me on the size. I think though that this is from 1990, 97, 98, or 99. I think it's a circle with a C. My fellow Hermes addicts, let me know down in the comments. But what I love about this bag, it's done in the buffalo leather. So it's very durable. And the buffalo leather, it's so fabulous that I could see one day having a buffalo Birkin or a Kelly. Oh my God, buffalo Birkin. That would be like a really good name on like a Western video game, the buffalo Birkin. Obviously, this is done in the Havane colorway with the palladium hardware. I love the chandoncle that just hangs here on the front to close it. Absolutely stunning piece. It's just suede on the interior with like one kind of cotton pocket. I love carrying this bag. Like, I get just as excited to carry this as I do the next bag I'm about to show you, and it's one of the crown jewels in my collection. And if you guessed my Vert Foncé box leather Birkin, my Birkin, I still cannot get over saying that. You would be correct. This is probably the crown jewel of my collection as of now. This, guys, was such a roller coaster to find. I was looking for a Birkin for the longest time. I kind of knew the specs that I wanted, what I was willing to pay, and when this popped up over at Luxe du Jour, immediately in cart, sold, found it, brought it home, sent it to Baba Baby, of course. It's just stunning. I don't wear it with the key clochette that's over in my closet. The previous owner had it spa'd, new hardware put on. They got it back back and I think they were like, okay, I actually found the previous owner and we talked about it a little bit, but they just decided it was too big. They were never going to carry it. So they sold it to Luxe du Jour. It is now here in my collection. And I was actually lucky enough to meet the craftsperson who spa'd this recently. As you can tell, it has the new modern hardware. Vert Foncé, you guys, I was so lucky. I bought this before they re-released the color. It could not have been more perfect timing. Like, this is such a stunning colorway. This is perfect in the fall with like some tweeds and just carrying it through the city when the leaves are orange. It's truly stunning and I could not be more over the moon. As bag collectors, and for those of you that have always longed for a Birkin, you just know like this is like one of your milestones as a collector, and having this in my collection, it's definitely helped me understand like what I need out of my bag collection. Like I love bags like this, which is why I have such an over exaggerated love for the Ralph Lauren Ricky. It's like the American Birkin, let's be so serious. But what I love most are just like beautiful structured bags that are in classic colors, beautiful craftsmanship. I don't know, this kind of helped me put things into perspective, helped me get rid of a lot of bags that were no longer serving me anymore in my collection so I could buy more stuff like this. I don't know, I still love this bag so much. For what I paid, I should be so serious. All right, and that brings us to my most recent. I don't want to say final. This is the last bag for today, but it's definitely not the final bag in my Hermes collection, but it's the most recent. And this is the bag that I treated myself to for my birthday last year. This is the Lindy 34 in Evercolor, color Eton, with palladium hardware. For those of you that were there for the unboxing, you all know we've discovered this went to the beach. I had to sweep sand out of it, and I found sea glass inside as well. So a very interesting past life that it's lived. If you're curious about the Lindy, or if you're looking for a large Hermes that can be handheld, go on the shoulder, that isn't the Kelly or the Birkin, the Lindy is the one. Like, in my collection, of all 5 Hermes bags, this is probably one of the easiest ones to use. It's so casual, you can throw it on your shoulder, crook of arm, top handle it. It is so versatile. I love how big, goofy, and squishy it is. Much like my Givenchy Saka, it's kind of giving that same energy. Like, it's so goofy looking that I absolutely love it. And here on the turret, one of my favorite features, it has like the clou de sel that's just kind of stamped into it. And you can let these singles just kind of hang off to the front for a more casual vibe if you're going to the beach, I suppose. This is never going back to the beach. That's for my LL Bean boat and totes, not for my Hermes Lindy. Evercolor, I think it is the most expensive non-exotic that the Lindy is available in. And I think that this model in this size, I think most recently retailed for just over 10,000. New, I paid probably 30 or 3,400. Pre-owned, sadly the Lindy does not hold its value like some of the other Hermes models. I could see that changing, especially with the current obsession with the minis that everyone has. A few of my friends have the minis, they're absolutely stunning. Here I am with my big old 34. I love it. Before I ramble on a little bit more to kind of close up this very lengthy video, sorry husband, he's my editor. I know this was long. I tried. I love to talk, I love to romance everything. I have a background in luxury sales, and I'm like, I just want to talk about each and every single bag, but I can't do that because there are far too many. So speaking of too many, did you guys guess my number? Were you thinking like 120? Ugh. Were you thinking a little less, like maybe 50? Well, I'm going to share with you my number as of today for my 4-year YouTube anniversary, March of 2025. My collection is at a nice round 69. I had to do the math like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, is it really 69? Is that my number? My number is 69. What is your number? Let me know down in the comments. Now, I know some of my friends here on YouTube can't count because they have too many, and that is okay. Safe space, no judgment. For me, 69 still feels like too many. I'd like to get rid of, some of my carrying bags could go. Like, what's next for my collection? What am I going to be focusing on? I love that about you. Stay curious, never change. But I think for the future, I'm slowing down a little bit when it comes to bags. I love bags. Bags will always be my number one passion, but I want to kind of pivot from overconsumption and just buy what's truly going to work for me. And those are going to be like the more luxurious pieces in my mind, like my Ralph Lauren Rickies, more Hermes. There could be a Todd's bag in my future, just saying. I will be at the Woodbury Commons later this year. I'm so excited. And for my collection, I'm just kind of ready to have like more classic lifelong pieces. Like I want pieces that truly embody my spirit, my design, my aesthetic. And I think we're heading that way. Like we're making our way to like the perfect curated bag collection. Does that mean buying more? Does that mean selling a lot more? Only time will tell, and I'm so glad that you're here on this journey with me. The past 4 years here on YouTube, it has been a whirlwind. Lots of ups, lots of downs, but at the end of the day, I have met some truly, truly fantastic people that I think have become really great friends, and I'm excited to see what the next 4 years bring here on YouTube. Hopefully I'm on here a lot longer than just 4 years. Another 4 years sounded a lot better than, just a random amount of time. So thank you all for joining me on this incredibly crazy crazy handbag journey. You've been there through all of my different phases and eras, my Balenciaga, my Louis Vuitton, my Hermes journeys. Speaking of Hermes, with the way that my Hermes pattern works, I buy a simple bag and then I get like a big quota bag. And if you paid attention, we had the Rio, that's a simple. It's kind of like your knuckles for like, 30 and 31 days. We had the Rio, and then we did the Kelly. Then we had the Vespa. Then we did the Birkin. We did the Lindy. So this year is a knuckle year, which means I'm going to have to buy something big ticket. What's it going to be? That's probably another video in and of itself. Is it going to be another Kelly, another Birkin? While I was filming this and Googling Buffalo leathers, there's a blue de Gaulice over on Rebag for only $7,400 with gold hardware. That's absolutely stunning. Maybe I get another Birkin this year. Who knows? The year is still young. It's only March. We'll find out. I'm glad you're on this journey with me. So until next time, guys, stay safe, have fun. Again, let me know your number. I'm curious to know. Am I crazy for having 69? But until next time, guys, stay safe, have fun. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.